Hello everyone, my name is Leo Beckler, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my friend Atticus here. Atticus is what's known as an axolotl, and we'll get into what kind of axolotl he might be later. Now, let the record show, this is my audience. It's the best I could do right now. Now you might be asking, Leo, what is an axolotl? Trust me, you are not the first nor last to ask me that question. According to National Geographic's article Axolotl, published in September of 2010, as legend has it, the axolotl is the Aztec god of fire and lightning, Xolotl, who disguised himself as a salamander to avoid being sacrificed. The axolotls we're talking about today are amphibians, specifically ones that stay in the juvenile phase of their life, where they're still bound to the water, but they have legs and they have lungs. It's like if a tadpole had legs, but just stayed there its whole life. Axolotls are known for their regeneration properties, able to regenerate their limbs, their fins, and even parts of their spinal cord. Hence why they're really popular in science fields, because there's a lot of you can do with them, because they regenerate so easily. Earlier I said I was going to be talking about my friend Norman in this speech, and that's both true and false. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about 3 types of axolotls: firefly axolotls, GFP, and yellow or golden albino ones. Some of the reasons for me covering this topic, aside from my love of the animal, is because recently I've noticed a rise in axolotl content in the media. Specifically from stuffies, to cartoons like Gravity Falls, to just people adopting them and showing them more often on platforms like TikTok. In science, axolotls have always been important, because of their regeneration property, and you can experiment on them more ethically and unethically, and they come in abundance. You can raise them in abundance. In the wild, they're pretty almost extinct, in a sense. They're endangered for sure. I'm no scientist, but I have had a love of these animals for upwards of 5 years now, and have done consistent research in my free time about them because of said fascination. I'm hoping to one day adopt one, so I always try to stay up to date on axolotl research and news. Now though, let's start on the journey of talking about what these 3 kind of axolotls are. First and foremost, I want to talk about firefly axolotls. Firefly axolotls are, according to Sydney Toshik's article, Are Firefly Axolotls Ethical?, published in March of 2023, a firefly axolotl is an artificially made morph in which typically the tails of 2 individuals are swapped. A visual representation of this would be this little guy, who has a lavender axolotl body with an albino tail. His sibling, in a sense, would be an albino body with a lavender tail, hence the name axolotl. These axolotls are made through a process similar to skin grafting, where parts of different axolotls are swapped with each other in the embryo phase of their lives. That's how they first got made. Since then, the practice of making these axolotls has gotten much less unethical, due to the fact that the demand has gone up, and they're bred and made more for aesthetic than any scientific purpose. People nowadays are starting to skin graft these axolotls after they're born and not give them any pain medication during or after, and they're replacing parts such as parts of their tails, parts of their forehead, and whole limbs that just shouldn't be mechanically replaced like that. With this unethical practice, it's causing axolotls to grow up disfigured, and they can't move as well, and their quality of life is just overall diminished. There are places where you can find breeders who will still make these axolotls in ethical ways, but it's a lot less popular nowadays since the demand has gone up with them gaining popularity. Even with the ethical standards of these axolotls in question, there are still plenty that are made that are more ethical, such as the GFP axolotl. The GFP axolotl is, according to an anonymous author from the Axolotl Planet, in their What Are GFP Axolotls article, with an unknown publishing date, they state, GFP axolotls are a type of morph that have been genetically modified to express green fluorescent protein, or GFP, in their cells. This protein, which was first discovered in jellyfish, emits a bright green fluorescence when exposed to ultraviolet light. GFP axolotls are made mostly to serve as a research specimen for scientists to observe how their tissue regenerates and grows with the new protein. Scientists can apply said research in areas such as tissue regeneration, developmental biology, and cancer research, since they see how cells generate and multiply and whatnot. The creation of these axolotls is also more ethical than their firefly counterparts due to ethical stipulations already in scientific practices, and because they're bred and made to be a scientific research specimen and not for aesthetic. So they need to be healthy so you can research them. It is possible to adopt a GFP axolotl, and they're still a very desirable pet, but it's harder to find them because breeders are constantly out of sale, and they're harder to make because it's more biological engineering than just switching body parts. There is, however, a still very beautiful axolotl that is easier to find, and they're known as yellow or golden albino axolotls. Yellow axolotls are, according to S. Perry's 2022 article, Axolotl Colors, golden axolotls are born with white translucent skin, but they also have light-colored speckles all over their body as juveniles. As they grow, it turns into a golden hue. They have pink gills and red eyes. This pink and red appearance is because of the absence of melanin in their skin. That absence of melanin makes them easier to find naturally, but also easier to make, manufacture in science. Because it's just the melanin being affected in their bodies. It's not body parts being removed, it's not new DNA being introduced, it's just something they already have. They can also be adopted more ethically due to less intervention forced in their genes. Similar to the firefly axolotl, this coloration is more for aesthetic than scientific like the GFP. They are just yellow axolotls. They're a type of albino, but they're just yellow. And there it is. Now you know about 3 different kinds of morphs in the axolotl species. Not only that, but their benefit to science in terms of tissue regeneration and how each of them are made. Firefly axolotls through skin grafting, GFP through bioengineering with jellyfish DNA, and yellow ones via lack of melanin production in their skin. And we can also identify what kind of axolotl Atticus is. Atticus is an artistic representation of a GFP axolotl. Commonly they're shown to be blue, even though it says fluorescent green. So next time you see an axolotl in the wild, consider exactly what kind it is, and what kind of benefit it plays to science. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.